Folks, I think I'm sad. Well, maybe sad is the wrong word to use, but I got this weird feeling of like, I want to play Sonic Racing Crossworlds again, and it's just not around. I spent all of last weekend around this time, late at night, I put the kids to bed, and then I'd go and play Sonic Crossworld. And I mean, I got other stuff I could be doing, I got other games I could be playing, and actually after I'm done this video, I might actually just hang out with some of my friends. But I got this weird feeling of like, it's Friday night and I want to play Sonic Racing again. That was just such an amazing experience last weekend. So I talked to a few of you on my comments about this last week, but I convinced a few of my friends and family to download the game and we all just jumped online for Friday night. And for the most part, a lot of us had good fun. We played much longer than I expected we would. One person kept complaining because they're like, I just want to play Mario Kart. I just want to play Mario Kart. But aside from that, we was having a good time. And I mean, me personally, I was enjoying it way more than I expected I would, to be honest. So much so that it prompted me to make a video last week. It was kind of like a Let's Play highlight video. I don't know what those are called exactly. But it was just a fun video where I kind of recorded my audio just because I'm like, you never know what I might say. Now, after that first night, I wasn't expecting to play it anymore. I was like, okay, I got my hands-on experience. It was the demo. I'll wait till this game comes out, and then eventually I'll buy it, maybe when it's on sale. But then as the weekend went on, the next night I was like, I want to play some more. And then obviously I did. I spent every night last weekend going back and revisiting the game, and I didn't record. I was just playing it just to have fun. I know, shocker, YouTuber just decides to go have fun and not record something. Now, obviously, as the weekend went on, I got better at this game. The footage you're seeing is basically the only footage that I have available to show to you. This was from pretty early on in the weekend before I started figuring out different things and tweaking different things to make the game a little bit better. What was really cool though is I noticed as the weekend went on, I didn't actually get that much better at it. I was very much an average player. Perhaps everybody that was playing all weekend also kind of jumped up a level as well, and that's why I just kind of stayed balanced with the rest of the group. I'd win a few races, but oftentimes I'd end up somewhere in that 3rd to 7th range. Yeah, I know that's a very big window, but yeah. But for some reason, the game was just very addicting. It kept drawing me in. Every time I'd finish a race, I'm like, I just want to do one more. I want to see if I can do better. I want to win a race. And I think that was kind of reflected in my video last weekend too. And that happened all weekend every time I picked a game back up. I legitimately could not put it down. The last time I felt that way about a racing game to that extent was when F-Zero 99 first came out. Now, when I was playing F-Zero 99, I got pretty good at it, I would say, because I was hitting top 3 in almost every single race by the time I stopped playing it. And I think I played it for like a good 2 or 3 months straight. Like that was my quick pick up and play game. And I got very addicted to it, and I got very good at it too. But then I noticed as soon as I stopped playing it, my skill level dropped down immensely. Starts off by taking a couple weeks off, I go play it, I get absolutely destroyed. I'm not keeping up with anybody. A month later, I'm even worse. And then after a few months of sporadically playing the game here and there and picking it up and seeing if I can get back into it, I found that the game had completely passed me by. Now, don't get me wrong, I think if somebody were to pick up F-Zero 99 and try to get back into it and try to increase their skill level and put a lot of effort into it, they could also get good. And likewise, if I was to put in the same amount of time and effort that I put in when the game had first come out, I think I'd be able to get back up there. But the thing is with F-Zero 99 is you have to put in that effort. And I realize I'm not talking about Sonic right now, but trust me, we're gonna work our way back there. F-Zero 99 is purely a skill-based racer, in my opinion. There is no chaos. I mean, it's chaotic, but not like that kind of random chaos that you would find in a kart racer. The game is a lot more focused on the skill, it's a lot more focused on making that perfect turn, knowing when to save your energy and when to boost, all that stuff. And with a game like that, you really need to put in your effort, and it's very important for skill, and what happens is a lot of newcomers that were to jump into the game right now can very easily be put off by it and decide that it's not for them. Like, I wouldn't consider F-Zero a blue ocean random game. I think it's something that if you're playing it, you're very passionate about it and you're willing to put in the effort to get there. Now, contrast that to something like Mario Kart. Mario Kart World's a bit newer and I have very little experience with that game anyway, but let's talk about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I've been playing some form of Mario Kart 8 for the past 11 years. I haven't been playing it competitively by any means. I don't really know the shortcuts that are good. I barely even play it online with randoms. Even when I would play it online, it would be mostly with like my cousins and brother. And because you can't like squad up and go into a game together without waiting for like the other race to finish because it's all convoluted, it's usually like 5 or 6 of us and then we just fill up the rest of the room with bots and it works out for us. But there are occasions where I decide to go online and play with randoms. Usually when I jump into those games, despite the fact fact that a lot of people have been playing it for a decade at this point, and the fact that a lot of people know the shortcuts, they're very competitive, and they might be able to pull off some maneuvers that I could only dream of, I'm still doing fairly well in those races. I don't notice myself feeling like I'm lagging behind. I would not consider myself a very good Mario Kart 8 player by any means. I'm like average at best, maybe above average. But I can still get away with winning a race, I can get second place, third place, etc. And that's because Mario Kart obviously has an overemphasis on balance. It has an overemphasis on making this game accessible to anybody so that if you were to jump in a race, even if the players are significantly better than you, you'll still be able to compete to an extent. Like, you gotta have some skill level to win a race, but you won't be that far behind. The items will help you out, all that. And that's obviously because Mario Kart is a lot more favorable towards the casuals. They want to make sure everybody can have a good time, so that if you're good, and if you're kinda good, and if you're bad, you can all play together and still somewhat enjoy yourselves. It's that whole Nintendo philosophy. They like to make sure that the very good players don't leave the not so good players behind. The only time I've seen like true top tier competitive Mario Kart play is when I've watched like actual competitive Mario Kart races where you have people that all know the shortcuts and they all know the stats and they know exactly what vehicle to pick. And even prior to them giving you the option to turn off specific items, with those items on, it looked like Mario Kart was a whole different game with those people playing. It seemed like the best person that would win the race deserved to win the race a lot more when the playfield was that leveled. But outside of that, I mean, anybody can grab a blue shell and catch up to first or second place unless you're playing with somebody that just lives and breathes the game. As far as Sonic Crossworlds is concerned, so this obviously is just a very early impression of just a single opening weekend, but it honestly feels like it's that perfect balance between high intense, crazy, competitive F-Zero style race while still bringing in some of that chaotic randomness from Mario Kart. Like, I felt like there was a lot of skill and strategy involved with these Sonic races, and once I started watching a few other videos on it and reading what other people were doing online and how they were setting up their gadgets and their gears and stats and all that stuff, how things are balanced out if you're using a hoverboard versus a vehicle, how important it is to collect the rings. Once I started looking into all that stuff, I realized that there's a lot to the mechanics of this game that can take you from, luckily being in that top 3 ranking somewhere, to downright being in control of your own luck to make sure you can end up thereabouts by the end of the race. But what I felt was crucial was that even if I didn't know all of this tech, we'll call it, I still felt like if I got lucky enough, I could get up there. But getting a hold of that luck was a lot harder. And likewise, once I started getting the hang of it and what I consider being a better player at the game, I still found that I could get unlucky at specific times, but it wasn't as easy to just completely collapse and fall apart as it would be if I was playing Mario Kart, for example. And with that experience, I felt the game was very balanced and just incredibly enjoyable. And that was regardless of who I was playing with, whether it was somebody that was like, okay, I'm gonna play this for the first time, or somebody that had been playing it all weekend. And based off of a lot of the sentiment that I'm seeing online, it seems like a lot of people kind of are feeling the same way that I am. And look, I kind of went over this in my channel. I haven't enjoyed a Sonic racing game probably since All-Stars Transformed, and I was a big fan of that for a couple years until Mario Kart 8 came out. I'm talking on the Wii U. When that game came out on the Wii U, and up until now, I haven't really left the Mario Kart scene. It was always like, if I wanted to play something multiplayer, we would usually play Mario Kart 8, and eventually Deluxe. I didn't enjoy Team Sonic Racing at all. I played it for less than an hour, I think. Crash Team Racing seemed like the kind of game that if I was to put a lot of time into it, I would enjoy it a lot, but it was very hard for me to get to that point, and within a few weeks, I kind of fell off of it for that reason. As a result, I stuck with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and look, I love Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I could play it for the next 10 years and probably not get bored of it. But the reality is, when it comes to Mario Kart World, for example, for the Switch 2, on the few times that I've had a game night and somebody brings their Switch 2 and we have Mario Kart World in front of us, I don't know what it is about that game, but after like 1 or 2 Grand Prix, everybody's just like, they want to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And it usually doesn't come from me. Like, everybody always jokes that I'm the anti-Nintendo guy now, so I don't give my opinion, obviously, because then they're just gonna laugh at me. At the end of the day, it's a video game. Mario Kart didn't cuss me out and punch me in the face. So if one of the guys brought their Switch 2 and they feel strongly about playing Switch 2, it's not like I'm gonna sit there and be like, no, nobody's allowed to play this game. But despite that, I'll be a good sport. I'll play whatever they want to play. And then I noticed every time we could play the game, it would be like 1 or 2 Grand Prix maximum, and then everybody would just get bored. And obviously, a lot of that is because of the straight line tracks that you gotta go through, the intermissions. We would always go back to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And honestly, part of that is because my group, you know, a lot of these guys only game once or twice a week. So they want to play what they're familiar with. They don't want to learn something new. They're just there to have fun and, you know, get those few Grand Prix in and move on. So I had to beg a lot of these guys to download Sonic Racing Crossworlds to play last week online. And we kept making jokes. We're like, this is only going to last for like an hour until everybody starts complaining and we're just going to go and play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe instead. But to my surprise, there was only one person that kept whining about it. Everybody else was like, yo, this is like really fun. We want to keep playing this game. And then what's funny is when the weekend was done, somebody sent a message. They're like, hey, let's play Sonic. And I was like, it's just a demo. We can't play it anymore. And they were bummed that the whole experience was over. I'm telling you, some of these people are like very set in their ways. It was hard enough to convince some of them to buy Super Mario Party Jamboree when we were all playing Superstars for a couple years. They're very rigid. They know what they like and they want to stick with what they like. And I think that says a lot about Sonic Racing Crossworlds and what it could potentially provide to like the kart racing scene that's been dominated by Mario Kart. Deservedly so, don't get me wrong. But especially when we're currently sitting in a scenario where a lot of people are very upset with Mario Kart World specifically, and a lot of people are also upset with the Switch 2 on a bigger level. The fact that this kart racing game is coming out in the same year, the fact that this demo has been a hit to pretty much every single person that's played it, and it's all over YouTube, people are praising it, all over Reddit, all over random forums online, and most importantly, the fact that it's cross-platform. So now you just got an endless amount of people that can jump into this game and it's not limited to a single console. I think this game might actually scratch an itch for people that have been looking for like the next level of Mario Kart. You know, like those people that might have been playing Mario Kart for the past 10 years, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the past 8 years, who are just like, I'm ready for like that next step. And when they jumped to Mario Kart World, they felt it was underwhelming. And it was like, okay, it's underwhelming, but what can you actually do to improve on the formula and shake up the experience a bit? And I think Crossworlds has the potential to be that answer. That could be the shake up that people were looking for. Like honestly, for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, part of the reason that I was able to play it for as long as I did is because eventually they ported over all those kart tracks from Mario Kart Tour. But even more importantly than that, it was the 200cc. When they added 200cc, at first we were playing it, we're like, oh, this is way too fast, we can't play this. But after a few years, we just started playing it and we stuck with it to the point where we feel like we can't play anything slower than that anymore. The jump from playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in 150cc to 200cc was more exhilarating of a jump for a lot of my circle of friends than the jump from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to Mario Kart World. It was just like, oh cool, like you can grind and you can hop a little bit and do some extra tricks in the air. But aside from that, it didn't really drive with anybody. 8 Deluxe still reigned supreme. And now I'm genuinely curious to see if Sonic Racing Crossworlds ends up being a game that just appeals to us to the point where it becomes a regular part of our nights. And quite frankly, if it's not a regular part of our nights, I think I'm gonna get it anyway, and I might just play online random like I was doing last week. That was a lot of fun. Like way more fun than I expected. I thought I would play it for 2 or 3 hours. I ended up playing it for a total of like 15 hours last weekend. Like I wasn't even considering buying this game day one because I don't want to support a $70 game, especially because it's a Sega game, so I know like within a month or two it'll be half off. I'm not gonna lie, I am tempted. Maybe I'll cheap out and do like a 1-month trial of GameFly and just play that for the first month and then wait for the game to go on sale after that. Or you know, hey, if anybody from Sonic Team is watching this, send me a download code. I will gladly put an asterisk at the start of this video and say that my opinions might be swayed because this game was free for me. I'll just draw the line at having my face on the thumbnail with my hands on the side with my mouth wide open and going like, holy crap, best game ever. But I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. The game is just a lot of fun. There's a single player demo that's supposed to be coming in mid-September. I'm definitely downloading that. I don't know what it's going to entail, if you're just going to be going through the Grand Prix. I doubt there's a campaign, but that would be awesome. Imagine they put in like a giant campaign that we didn't know about, but I feel like that would be part of the marketing material already. But I'm definitely going to be downloading that, and I'm definitely going to be playing through that. And honestly, I'm just very much looking forward to how this game performs, especially early on when the game first comes out, because I think that's when it's going to be at its peak, when it's going to be most popular, and it'll be exciting to see how many people from all of these different consoles decide to buy in and play the game. Now look, obviously, I don't anticipate this game is gonna outdo Mario Kart World by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think it has to. It just has to have a dedicated community that'll keep the lobbies full for the foreseeable future, at least. That would be good enough for a lot of people that are looking for that next level above Mario Kart. And then for everybody else, well, you could just play Mario Kart. It's been going on for 30 years and everybody's still having fun with it. But anyway, yeah, that's all I got for tonight. Thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you on the next one.